This is Chris the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, so I'm going to break this fight down round by round. First round, Malik Scott was doing what I knew he could do with his legs, which is move and pivot and make it very frustrating for Luis Ortiz. What he wasn't doing, though, was punching. I wish he would punch as he's moving and fight on the move, man. At least try to land a shot or two as you're moving and getting out the way. Luis Ortiz was getting kind of pissed off that he wouldn't stand and fight with him. You could see him, as Max Kellerman alluded to, that he was goading him to fight, and that's not going to work. He's going to have to cut the ring off and just start to land shots and slow him down, possibly go to the body, start the body attack. But I gave Luis Ortiz that round. He was the one trying to initiate a fight. Even the ref stepped in and was kind of looking at Malik Scott like to fight, to fight the guy. So, hey, but man, shout out to my man Malik Scott for his intro music, though, The Undisputed Truth. Smiling faces, sometimes, hey, they don't tell the truth. Boy, y'all know nothing about that. All right, so second round just ended. I gave that round to Ortiz. Also, he's not blowing him out thus far, but Scott is doing a lot of movement, something that I knew he was capable of, like I said in the first round. He's moving around. He landed a nice check left hook when Ortiz was coming in. He landed a nice right hand, and then landed another right hand, but it was kind of when he was on the move. He really wasn't sitting down on it. Wasn't nothing behind it. But he's moving very well. When he gets on the inside, he is clinching completely. He is not trying to do any type of inside fighting. When he gets trapped on the ropes, though, that's when it looks a little dangerous for him. Ortiz hasn't landed nothing solid. Right now, it looks like he's trying to find a home for that left hand. And it looks like he's kind of head hunting for one shot thus far. But I would like for him to try to double up behind his jab and land a left. And I would like for Scott, as he's moving, sit down on a couple of combinations and then move. But that's the dangerous part of trying to exchange with Ortiz. But his movement is great thus far. But I gave Ortiz that second round also. Okay, so that's a round I gave to Ortiz also, man. Malik, I'm not in the ring, you know what I mean? But it's just from watching it, he's just too willing to just hit the canvas all the time, man. He's not getting knocked down or nothing. It's just when they clinch or they get wrapped up or the footing gets off balance, he just too willing to just hit the canvas, in my opinion. But anyways, his movement has started to slow down a little bit, but he's still elusive up top. He's making it hard for Ortiz to corner him. And I see that he is stepping over and he is circling away from Ortiz's left hand, which is a great thing to do. But Ortiz is starting to throw that right hook to catch him as he's circling the opposite way. Some of the hooks have been off. Some of the hooks have hit Malik Scott when he's had his gloves up. Malik Scott did land a nice little body shot by the ribs on Ortiz. I would like to see him go to Ortiz's body a little bit, man. Start to land a little bit. It's just his game plan right now. It just seems to get away and be evasive and avoid everything and be I don't know, man. He's just wanting to move, but he's not throwing enough. He's not throwing enough punches to really win any rounds. The movement's great right now, but Ortiz, he really hasn't found a home for anything big yet. I think he needs to move his hands a little bit more than he is. And he's starting to mix it up a little bit, but I gave Ortiz that round 3. All right, man. Round 4 just ended. I gave that round to Luis Ortiz. Now, I'm doing this live, man, so I paused it after the round was over. I'm not sure if they're going to count that second knockdown as a knockdown. It's weird. The first knockdown, they were kind of in the clinch, and Ortiz landed a chopping, I believe it was a left hook. Chopping hook behind Malik Scott's ear. He goes down. I don't know, man. He's starting to do the kind of the same behaviors I've seen against Chisora and Wilder, man. He went down. He was actually held his glove up for the ref to help him up, which is kind of awkward. He gets up, though. He gets hit again with another shot a few moments later. He goes down again. Again, he's like raising his arms up for the ref to like help him up. And the refs kind of look at him like, huh? Like, what are you raising your arms up for me for? He's doing the same thing pretty much in every round, man. The movement, and he's making Ortiz miss. And I knew he would be able to do this. I just didn't know. I questioned, just his just mentally and just the heart and wanting to just fight back in this fight. But the movement is giving Luis Ortiz problems as far as he's not just there to be hit, and he's making Ortiz work and chase him around a little bit. But Ortiz is clearly winning this fight, and I gave him round 4 with the knockdown. I'm going to see if they're going to count that other one as an official knockdown. I don't believe I seen the ref count for the second one. It's just weird, man. But there was one knockdown in this round 4 though, so I gave that round to Ortiz. All right, so that was another funny round, man. Malik Scott goes down again. He threw a right hand, and Luis Ortiz, he countered it with his jab, which is a right jab, left hand combination, hits Malik Scott in the face. He goes down. As soon as he goes down, he starts rolling around funny, and he put his hand behind his head as if he got rabbit punched. Then Malik Scott gets up and does, you know, what he's good at, moving around again. But he's starting to slow down a little bit. He was on the ropes a few times. He landed a nice right hand, actually, and a good body shot. You know, if Malik Scott would just go out on his shield and just try to fight back, man, it could be a little bit more, entertaining. And he probably have a better chance, you know, trying to hit the guy in the face rather than just trying to move and just, a typical Malik Scott fight when he's in there with somebody that's, a high caliber fighter, man. He's showing some glimpses of some good ability, but just when he gets hit, he's just too willing to fall down, and he's complaining about these rabbit punches when he clearly got hit in the face. But Ortiz is walking him down, getting him against the ropes. I'm not seeing him lift that, and Roy Jones alluded to this, and he caught it because I've seen this with Ortiz too. He does this thing when he's trying to walk you down sometimes. He'll step forward with his lead foot. He'll lift it off the canvas and step to you and then try to come over with that right hook. But a guy like Malik Scott, as soon as you lift your right foot up like that, he sees that. He's a mover. He's going to get the hell out the way. So I'm glad to see that Luis Ortiz is starting to slide over to him and not lift his foot off the ground and let Malik Scott, get out the side door. But definitely gave Luis Ortiz this round, man. It's a weird fight, man. Not competitive, but it's just weird the way Malik Scott is behaving in this fight, in my opinion. All right, so round 6 is over. Much more, that was a better round for Malik Scott, man. He actually, was trying to initiate some punches. He was leading with some, I believe he landed a few little right hands and a nice left hook he tried to throw. Luis Ortiz is searching for one shot, being very predictable in this fight, man. And it seems as if he's not really worried about too much coming back at him. And he's trying to set Malik Scott up with one shot, and that's not going to work. And if he doesn't use his jab and mix up that right hand with at least a hook or a jab or a body shot, some of the craftier things I've seen him do in other fights, it's probably harder to do in this one because he's trying to come forward and do it. He was able to do it with guys like Jennings and some other guys because they were, Jennings tried to come after him with the high guard, so it was a little easier to land. Malik Scott is much more elusive, man. So it was a better round for him in this fight, but I still gave that round to Luis Ortiz. Probably could have been even. Just Luis Ortiz is just searching for one big shot, man. And if you're just going to do that without setting it up, you're going to leave. Malik Scott's going to survive that. But I'll probably lean towards Luis Ortiz in that round, but it was much more competitive in that round, and Malik Scott showed a more fighting spirit. He's not on the ropes as much, and he's circling to his left and his right. He may walk into something, but much more competitive, but I still gave it to Luis Ortiz in round 6. Okay, so round 7 is complete. I actually gave that round to Malik Scott, man. I probably missed about 20 seconds of that round doing something else, but I gave that to Malik Scott. I just thought he landed some good counters that were telling in this round. He was moving, made Ortiz miss some shots, showing good defense in the movement. Ortiz landed some good body shots. He's having a hard time just trapping Malik Scott against the ropes. Scott, some points in this fight, looked like he was gassing out. Then he'll come back out and get right back on his bicycle and move around. And Ortiz needs to throw combinations. He did land a good combination on Malik Scott when Scott was against the ropes. He threw a 3-punch combination, and the last punch of that combination was a straight left hand that got through the gloves. Malik Scott, he landed a few good lead rights, and he landed a nice counter left hook on Ortiz, where Ortiz is taking these shots, man. If this was somebody else with a little bit more punching power, I don't know, man. Ortiz probably could get hurt if he's getting hit flush with shots like those against a bigger puncher. But I probably gave that one to Malik Scott. I don't know what the CompuBox numbers were from that round, but just from the eye test, it looked like he probably edged that round. But I'm gonna give that one to Malik. But I got Luis Ortiz up in this fight comfortably, man. All right, so rounds 8 over with. Tricky round to score. HBO, you know, they're talking over all the action on in this round in particular, but I give this round to Ortiz, but it was tricky to score because Ortiz is looking for one shot. Malik Scott, I know a lot of you guys think he's a bum. You know, I talk about this in the comment section with fans all the time. But he's showing that he's mobile and he can be elusive, man. And it's hard to just hit this guy if you're looking for just one shot. You got to put them together, at least blind them with the jab and then, you know, set up the big shot. But Luis is just following him around looking for a big punch. When he's getting Malik against the ropes, he is landing some good body work, some combinations. Malik did land some good counters, and he's moving. But I thought he was moving a little bit too much because he wasn't throwing anything back. But it's, you know, Ortiz just looking for one shot, man. So I edged this round to Ortiz, but it could have went either way this round, in my opinion. I'm going to have to watch this fight again, man. But that, you know, he's moving and Ortiz just looking for one big shot, man. But I gave Ortiz this round. I think the body work, and he landed a few punches upstairs, but he's just looking for one shot in this fight. But Malik looks, you know, I wish he would just go for broke and just try to land something, man. Just land something, especially at a time like this when Ortiz isn't expecting anything back and he's just walking you down. Sometimes he's walking him down with his hands really low and he's not moving his head. Maybe Malik can surprise him if he steps in with a hard shot, but he's going to have to be more offensive-minded, man, these last few rounds if he's trying to land a home run shot. But I gave that round to Luis Ortiz. I edged it to him. All right, so round 9's over with. Ortiz landed a nice left hook to the body. Malik Scott was backing himself into the ropes. He threw a jab, a lazy jab, and then he followed it with a right hand. Luis Ortiz slipped it, and when he slipped and he went over and he slipped to his left, he landed a nice left body shot that put Malik Scott down. Malik Scott gets up and he continues to circle and move his head and left to right. He's sticking his tongue out a little bit. He's taking a chance by throwing some shots out there. Some of them are landing. Just Ortiz is taking them. They're deflecting off his head, and he's just taking the shots. And you know, Malik Scott doesn't seem as if he has enough power behind any of these punches to really hurt Ortiz and to keep him off of him. What's saving him right now is just his experience and his survival skills, as Roy Jones brought up, which I was thinking the same thing. And just his movement, man. You know, he's showing a little bit of grit in some of these rounds, and it's keeping him alive right now. But I gave that round to Luis Ortiz. All right, round 10's in the book. Gave that round to Luis Ortiz. He is starting to remember the body. He is placing some good body shots. I brought that up in a lot of videos about the ability that Luis Ortiz has to place his shots. He isn't just a wild free swinger. He will place shots, some accurate shots, and he's doing that with some of these body shot hooks, left hooks and right uppercuts and hooks to Malik Scott's body. Malik Scott's starting to shake his head, but when guys do that, you know that it's taking effect on him. Ortiz should have started that type of attack earlier. In this round, Malik Scott just surviving, using his legs, and he's getting away from shots. He's not really doing anything offensive in this round. Looks like he's trying to coast the last 2 rounds here and try to let this one go to decision. But, yeah, Ortiz pretty much dominated that round too. Malik Scott really isn't, he's not giving him he's not exchanging. So some of the opportunities are not there for Luis. But if he goes to the body, he can open up some opportunities upstairs, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But I gave that round to Luis Ortiz. All right, so I'm going to just wrap up rounds 11 and 12. The fight's over with. I'm not going to wait for the decision, the official score. We know that Luis Ortiz won this fight. You know, he did what he had to do the last few rounds. Malik Scott being very defensive, like I knew he would. And this is what I was saying. Let me just go over this. And this is what I was saying to the fans. You know, you can question his heart, and you can question Malik Scott's grit, and, you know, he took a dive against Wilder, or he took a dive against Chisora. That's cool. But what I was saying to you guys is he is hard to hit when he is on his defensive game and he's sticking to that. He's very hard to hit, man. Like that movement and the defense. Bums can't do that. I don't know a bum that can just have good defensive qualities like that and survive. Now, he was not aggressive. He was not offensive. He showed nothing that, you know, he's going to be a heavyweight champion, or he was going to even beat Ortiz in this fight. That's what I didn't like, and this is what, you know, when Malik Scott steps up a little bit, this is what type of shit that he does, man. And I wish he wouldn't just. I wish he would just be a little bit more offensive minded and try to sit down on some punches. He landed some good counters, but they were just single shots, and Ortiz was just eating those up like M&Ms and coming forward. You know what I mean? But Ortiz, he went 12 rounds. So, but this isn't the indication to say, oh, his stamina is A+ because he went 12 rounds. This wasn't a war. He didn't get, you know, pushed back or knocked down or got his body worked on or getting, you know, hurt or anything. So it's not like it's a 12 round where he was getting hurt and he survived. It was just, now he did miss. He missed some shots because he was looking for one shot. And but he did go to 12 rounds. He wasn't lagging. He wasn't winded. He didn't give Malik Scott the opportunity to come forward and be aggressive. But he did go to 12 rounds. Although it wasn't a grueling 12, he still showed stamina that he can go 12. So he went to 12. He looked kind of disgusted towards the end of the fight because he wanted Malik Scott to, quote, fight him. And he's going to have to get over that, man. A lot of pros, they get into that, oh, you're not fighting me. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like when Hagler fought Leonard. You know, and I'm not comparing this to that. I'm just saying how Hagler was pissed that Leonard wouldn't fight him when he wanted him to. And you guys got to, you know, they know this. The pros know this. If I know it, I'm sure they do. But everybody's not going to stand there and want you and going to fight with you. You know, I think Ortiz, he may struggle against a guy like Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? I'm not sure, though, man. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section if you check this fight out, man. What do you think about Luis Ortiz? Do you think guys are more willing to get in the ring with him because he couldn't knock out Malik Scott and Wilder knocked him out, Chisora knocked him out? Well, in that case, I mean, if we're going to play that game, you know, Luis Ortiz stopped Jennings and Vladimir couldn't. Although Vladimir is an all-time great fighter, but you get what I'm saying. It's just the guy went 12 rounds, man. He used his defense and made it hard for Ortiz. And you got to blame Ortiz, too, for not working his body and making Malik Scott fight by cutting off the ring. He would do it sometimes, and he'll look for one shot again. When he got Malik against the ropes and let combinations go, his punches were more effective. But Ortiz was looking for single shots for a majority of this fight, man. But 12 rounds, I probably gave one round to Malik Scott, and another round was kind of close. I forget exactly which round. It was because Malik landed a few good counters, and Ortiz was just trying to headhunt. But not close as far as Malik was whooping his ass or anything, but pretty much a blowout. I predicted a fifth or sixth round KO for Luis Ortiz, and I thought the first few rounds he would have trouble finding Malik Scott because of his movement and his ability to get out of the way of shots. But he dominated this fight, though, man. I'm out.